Sure. TSIOF, who do you want, buddy?
Let's see. I guess I'll take the alphabet side.
Okay.
You okay?
Loaded? Yeah, I'm waiting for you.
Oh.
You said alphabet side. I thought it was alpha. Am I green?
Yeah, TSIOF just because, you know, all the letters of the alphabet,
so,
you know, get the joke.
For BSSE, you've got a Julio, Massachusetts, Lenin, Matsu, Zaitin. When I heard alpha, I just assumed that's what you meant.
Sorry.
My bad. It's okay. If that's our screw up, it's our screw up.
Interesting.
On alphabet?
J-Rock and the Zeton bringing auxiliary mod slot 1 instead of main battery. Interesting. All right, going to TSIOF, we have Massachusetts, Tirpitz, Sinop, Julio, or Julio. I never know which one's the right one. And then finally, we got the Nelson. The Furious Nelson returns.
And the one nice thing about this map, okay, as a pick, I wouldn't have picked it first. Unless I know the opposing side is just going to go where they spawn. Your ships all spawn so close together here that you can put them where you want to put them. So there's literally no excuse to have all of your power going in one direction. And on a BSSE side, it looks like Julio and Mass are going to be taking the A-cap Zaitin Lenin. We've seen this. Zaitin Lenin and C. Matsu is going to be hanging behind Massachusetts and Julio. We've seen this.
We have.
Yeah. This was the double throw.
Yep.
What do we have on the red side? They love this A-cap, man.
I mean, just like the A-cap on Polar, I feel like people look at the map and they think that's where I gotta go.
It's so safe. It's so.
But it could also be a visual thing. Look how much closer B is to A than C is to B. You know, there's a bit of a gap, bigger gap, and it's not as well protected as the gap between A and B. So I think naturally, ships just want to be there.
Yeah, well, and if you had to pick your preferred spawn here, because BSSE picked this map and they picked Alpha. Do you concur with that?
Yes, I like Alpha spawn better.
We've talked great.
We've talked.
I disagree with you on everything today.
That's awesome. We've talked a lot about Lenin, and that little channel north of B is very powerful for a Lenin.
Very powerful.
But you know,
agreed.
They just took that Lenin and said, nah, we're gonna go to C.
So when one of the teams, broadside Nelson to a Zaitin, hold on, let's watch it. Oh, you lucky ducky. When I went and I looked at this map, the thing I found, and the Sinop is actually making a crazy move. He's making his second move when he should be on this island first. The angles that Bravo has to stop you from pushing into A are ridiculous. You have this fully protected island at F6, where the Synapse at. Had he turned left, you are completely protected unless they full flank you on C, which they appear to be allowing, where you can bow in against that. And for them to get into A, they literally have to drive broadside to 2 ships. And then you can, if you put something in A, you have a free and clear path from Bravo, unspotted, and then the perfect island at G4 to be, a Lenin or whatever, to completely block them out of A, stay dark and cap. But your disadvantage is at C, because while you have this little stuck-in, dig-in island, that's all you have.
Look at how far south this Julio is.
Well, and the Zaitin is getting crushed.
Well, I mean, you've got the Nelson over there, and then also the Sinop has been shooting at him. So he got the cap, but unfortunately, he's kind of doubling down by turning in. I'm surprised he didn't try to get out and around the corner.
Well, the Lenin made a mistake. He over-pushed. Thankfully for him, Nelson is currently getting Citadel'd and or potentially torped.
He's going to take one, yeah.
Nope, they die. And he's dark. So they've given up complete control of C, and that means the Sinop is now in a little bit of trouble. If the Lenin pushes forward here, with the Nelson still... Come on, dude. Nelson, you gotta see this.
Not sure.
The Massachusetts of BSSE is taking too much damage.
Yes, he is. Yes,
He's got no way out. They put him in the center and they pushed him forward. He's dead.
He's going out right here. I
There
don't
he
like
goes.
I don't like that the Zeton sits bow into the Sinop. I mean, his business is in the rear, not in the front. So it just doesn't make any sense.
If the Turpits and the Massachusetts, they have nothing stopping them from pushing up to this island. Look at the shot they get at G5 at this Lenin. And if the Lenin continues to go forward, the Sinop has it. The Sinop, unfortunately, needs to back up here.
Oof.
He needs to back up just a little bit. Zeiten taking a big
Yeah, he
hit.
just got nailed from something.
This BSSE is in a world of trouble here. Despite the
Here
Sinop,
comes the broadside on the Lenin.
you knew.
You saw it coming. We were
Lenin
talking about it, and
never belongs in the middle.
nothing.
Ever.
Nothing.
If the Lenin was where the Zeiten was, it would be game over. Like, he owns the C and the B cap, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm surprised this Sinop is tanking as well as he is.
Well, Zeton now unmasking his other turrets, shooting HE at the Sinop.
Oh my God, Lenin. Why?
And, yeah. So,
I
J-Rock...
reiterate to all Lenin players, I played this ship for 4.5 hours. There goes the Matsuch and Massachusetts secondaries. At no point in time will you ever see me going quarter speed in the middle of a wide open area, pushing into 5.
Oh, the Zeton finally goes down.
Yes,
oh, here
Zeton
comes a big
dies.
hit on the Lenin.
Oh, who could have seen that coming?
Nobody. Not I. I'm shocked. I'm shocked it happened.
Oh, and
Here comes the other shot from the Nelson.
Yeah, there's the Nelson. Boop. Oh, he goosenecks it.
Well,
Full whip.
it is Nelson. I mean, that's one reason I hate that ship so much.
Collinwood would have crushed him.
And there goes another Citadel from the Massachusetts shot. And there goes the Nelson, or the Lenin.
In the entirety of playing that Lenin night, I took one Citadel, and that's because a CV pushed me out. With 5 players and no destroyers and no CVs, there's literally no excuse for giving up big Citadel shots unless your team is screwed up so much that you're forced to do something. And this is going to be a 5-0 sweepy because the Julio is not long for this world. TSIOF is going to take big race at our second map. If I can find it in this list of things, is going to be
Here we go.
Ring Bravo for TSIOF. So they're staying Bravo. We're going to Ring. And they put the Massachusetts just sat as the tank and got murdered, while the Julio and the Matsu, they stayed protected and shot, but they weren't doing enough damage, and there were no cross shots. Okay, you got the alphabet team, so that means I go first.
Yep.
Or BSSE. Yeah, that's enough S's. It's the Mutsu, it's the Julio, it's the terrible spawn with the Zeiten, the Lenin, and the Massachusetts on a 4-cap map.
Yep.
Now, TSIOF picked this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hardest map of the 6.
Really? Okay.
Well, yeah, so everything else, there's 3 caps. You have a quick cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a flanking opportunity for either side with the islands surrounding D and surrounding A.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really no strong places here. Well, I'm sorry, what's TSIOF bring in? Let's talk about that first.
And based off the way I've been seeing the maps be executed, I would agree this is a tough map to play. But I feel like Polar is even more difficult. But in any case, let's take a look at this lineup. So, Team Alphabet is bringing Julio, a Sinop, a Massachusetts, a Tirpitz, and a Nelson, essentially the exact same team.
Well, a double second. So for this map, how we laid this out was 2 secondary ships in the middle, a flanking ship, and 2 kind of support HE ships. You're trying to get these cross shots through the middle, control the middle, control the map.
Yep. But again, we've seen so many teams fail to even look for those cross shots. And in this situation, TSIOF is making the Julio the tip of the spear. If you look at the Massachusetts and Tirpitz positioning. What?
And early doors, at this point in time, watching enough of these battles, if you bring in Lenin and Massachusetts and something German, you're getting this shit spawn. There you go. Sinop getting cracked again.
Well,
this guy's very aggressive.
He is very aggressive. His plan was to go into this channel, and then the Massachusetts saw him, and he said, "Oh crap!" And now he's stuck in a position where if J-Rock just pulls out, but he's not doing it.
He's got to push forward. He's going to push forward to try and cap D, which if he can go dark here, you have the potential to go dark. You also have the potential of getting clapped through this little lowlands area, but there is nothing right that's positioned to punish, because guess what? The Lenin and the Massachusetts, while not 2 ship lengths apart, they're working on it.
Yeah, they'll get there soon enough, because what's going to happen is the Massachusetts is going to stop, bow in, and reverse, and then the Lenin is going to come up next to him and say, "Hey, what you doing, buddy? What you doing,
Sight
pal?"
and broadside shots on the Julio of TSIOF. A couple pens. So both teams have opted to put the tankier. I'd like the Zeiton at A. And if I'm BSSE, see, this is the problem though. The Massachusetts under zeros, like, unless he's going to this island to stop and live, if he stops, which he's doing, he's dead.
Also, by the way, he's already used a heal. He's already used a heal.
It's a 3-on-1 at A. The Massachusetts, you just have to live, and the Lenin's pushing forward.
Yep.
Okay, I'm okay. You have no island protection, which is weirdly okay, except for maybe the Sinop. Go to that island. Live at that island. Don't let them all shoot at you. Kill the Nelson. I mean, it's a freaking 3-on-1 at A. If they kill this Nelson, the Zeiton and the just the Zeiton, unfortunately for them, have broadside to everything. They've got Massachusetts. He's gone to the island.
Ooh, Sinop almost down.
He's healing.
He is. He was backing up.
And the Lenin is pushing forward against 4. You're seeing what's happening in the Massachusetts, right? Why would you replace his dead body?
Well, because you're thinking, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to defend my teammate. And then all of a sudden now his teammate dies. He goes, "Oh, crap. Well,
if he is
what do I do now?"
Here at F8 against these 3, none of them can hurt him drastically while this Nelson's going to die. It's a 3-on-1. The Zeiton turned broadside a little too soon. Didn't get punished for it. this is a dead Nelson. I don't care how much super heal you have.
It needs to be
you
a
do
dead
not
Nelson.
survive 3.
It needs to be a dead Nelson. That's
Yeah,
the win
and
condition for
Julio's
BSSE.
Stopping.
And I want to point out, TSIOF is all approaching the Lenin from the same freaking angle. So Count Fraggington now,
lucky.
he's been gifted the ability to properly play the Lenin by sitting bow in and reversing. The question is,
Yeah.
can there be?
He's on double fire with no DCP.
Yeah.
Like he has a DCP, he hasn't used it.
Yeah. Well,
he just let 2 fires full burn.
he only gets 5 of them. He's got to be cautious with his use, right? They're not infinite.
This is now the second time this dude has been caught wide open. If you just are on this, like you could have backed up here and just let them push forward a little bit, stalled. If they turn, their natural inclination is to turn and deal with the 3, and the Nelson does end up going down. I apologize, I missed that because I'm so frustrated by this Lenin.
I mean,
broadside Julio, Lenin
honestly,
shots out AP.
Honestly, the Lenin is doing at this point the best he can. He's backing
in
up.
the situation he put himself in.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, and he's taking pot shots now at the Julio because he's just sitting there broadside to him so he can get domed. This is great. Boink.
I still think they win this BSSE.
They can. Can being the operative word.
It's 2 caps to 1. They have, I mean, if this Lenin was here, it's automatic game over.
But look at this. TSIOF abandons the push on the Lenin, just leaving the Massachusetts to fight him. And because of that, now Fraggington's able to get another heal off. Again, this is why you don't consider somebody dead until they actually are. They got lucky. They got the kill with that shot. If those shells had missed, though, you'd be dealing with another tanky ship in front of you.
Well, the one thing I do like about what BSSE is doing here, they own the center. If the Julio goes in, if the Matsu needs to go left here. Julio needs to go right here and just have a trifecta of angles.
Which Julio are you talking about? Taffy or Rebrand?
Taffy. So, like, don't all just go in the center and the Zeiton is going to pop out outside to the Julio.
I mean,
try and get the kill.
The thing is, they need to get this Julio off the board, and then they need to get into the B cap. They shouldn't sacrifice everything to do it.
They're ahead. BSSE is ahead on points.
Of course they are.
The Zeiton just gave away 20K to a Julio because he was impatient. And is now going to charge into 2 before his team is in a position to support him.
And that's the problem. The Mutsu stuck there. I mean, basically, we're past the 2-minute mark. Remember, time to throw. And that's exactly what's happening here. They're, like you said, they're getting impatient.
One ship down.
Well,
Julio at this point cannot wrap around. Like he can cap B. You got to go here now. Put your beak right here because you will not be able to wrap around the islands to D. Oh, there goes
Zeiton. But hey, look at the Torps coming in on the Turpits. I think the Turpits might have forgotten that these things exist. Now he sees them now. He's going to take 2.
He's been reminded. He's going to take 1.
1.
But a minute left. If the Matsu dies, they lose. If the Matsu wins, and this is what the Julio, like, this guy has to come to the middle to kill the Matsu. You should be right here. Like you would crush him if he came in.
Where is here? Because remember, I'm not watching your screen.
I'm sorry. I'm very excited about that. At F5 on this little corner, you could be bow in. The Turpits has to give you broadside, and the Matsu should be backing up. Back up, angle directly at the Turpits. Do not allow him to put 4 Torps into you.
18 seconds.
Torps don't get there in time at this point. 14 seconds. Julio's running, and that's the right play. Actually, that's the right play. Even if they kill the Matsu, it's a 100-point swing.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's what I was trying to say when you were saying earlier you can't lose both. I'm like, yes, you can actually.
There it is, and they lose none, and BSSE evens it up. And the weird thing about this, Zav, is the both teams have now won on the opposing team's best pick,
Right.
where they got to pick the map and pick the spawn.
All right, since GP is currently rage P'ing, let's get a look at both teams. We've got Tirpitz, Mutsu, a Lenin, and a Massachusetts. And a Julio, by the way. I should mention that. And then as for TSIOF...
Did you do reverse spawns?
Nope. As for TSIOF, we've got Massachusetts, Tirpitz, Sinup, Julio, and Nelson.
Wait.
I know. I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Hey man, we're just here for the lulz. Most of my chat is here for the giveaways and the Twitch drops, and of course, the fun interactions that you and I have. So let's just. I was
gonna say all of mine is here for your sexy voice.
Aw. You know, somebody said once that my voice was like sexual chocolate, and I'm just like, oh boy. Oh my.
Okay. So from ship picks.
Yeah.
And whose pick was? Yeah, no, it's been the team that picks the map and the spawn. Like, that's the biggest advantage you're ever gonna get. Has lost, and now we're back to BSSE.
Dude,
this is their pick.
Just keep pouring. All right, that's all you got to do.
That's what I did. Did you hear it?
Yes, we heard it. ASMR stream here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh goodness. So TSIOF is putting all the beef at Charlie, and they're just sending Nelson off to basically use that super heal and try. Look at this. The Lenin for BSSE is not following the Massachusetts.
Thank you, Jeebus. And this is see, it's a semi-strong position where he's going. What's so goofy about this island at D5 is this little nip. If the nip didn't exist, this would be like the perfect island for Lenin. But because that little nip exists, he has to take a more extreme angle. And if you look across the map at D10, there's this wonderful island that actually can dome safely over these rocks and hit that shot.
So what GP
I don't like the alpha spawn here.
What GP is saying is, if you put the Lenin up on this side of the island, with your bow facing southeast, you basically give broadside shots to pretty much anybody that's over at Charlie, which in this situation is going to be literally
everyone.
4/5 of the team, 4/5 of the enemy. Although the Sinup is now curving in.
Well, and they've seen two ships. They've seen Massachusetts and Sinup. If they see that there's 4, then he goes behind the nip, which he's presently doing, but not angling correctly. And you go flat against this island, and now you have the broadside shots. In order for them to get anywhere close to sea, the Lenin owns this.
Yep. And this is a very strong position for Confraggington now. And by the way, that little nip that pops out, in random battles, it's a great place to position your battleship behind because it also blocks all the torpedoes.
Torpedoes, yep. And this is, God bless this Nelson, because they're sending him by himself.
Yeah.
If this were a lemming team where that Nelson, he's broadside here, but see, he's open watering. Oh boy. I do not see good things for this Nelson in his future.
Lord Admiral, or Lord of Admirals in the Massachusetts, is smartly sitting behind this island here, trying to reduce how many people can shoot back at him. Unlike the last time where he just kind of sat there in front of everybody and said, shoot me now. And so they did. And you can see TSIOF is splitting their fire between the Massachusetts and the Julio. Pick a target, guys.
Would you pick Alpha or Bravo spawn here?
Well, obviously, I'm going to pick the one that you don't like. I would go with the Alpha spawn.
I know, that's crazy.
I would go with the Alpha spawn.
We're on the same page
here.
Well,
damn it, then I'm going to change to the Bravo spawn then.
Well, and the thing about the Alpha, well, why would you pick the Alpha spot?
I love that channel going into B from that angle. And turrets, oof. I
That
I
they're
like
not using?
that they're not using. I think that is one of the most important strategic places. It gives you so many options. Once you go in there, you can point the bow at A, you can point the bow at C, and take the cap. So, you know, sin up, you can go in it from that angle too. It's just not as clean.
Well, I'm gonna share some state secrets here. The Alpha side. So in a battleship on battleship tournament, this is really the only map that gives you these little cheeky protected areas that I'm looking at, that little spot you were talking about, where you could stay protected and just sneak your ship in and start capping.
Yep.
And you also have a beautiful island at A, where if you can get there, and the Tirpitz is hopefully going there. No,
Well,
he's going to turn broadside a little too early.
He wants to, but the problem is he's in a position where to get there, he has to give broadside to the Sinop or to the Nelson. But the Sinop is going to go down here because he's given way too much side.
Well, Alpha has this spot at A where he can maintain a beautiful protected angle and cap. The little cheeky spot that we both love, the channel. And even at C, they have the better angle and a little cheeky cap if you can push up to here, or even better, if you could push up, if they abandon C, if you look at B and A cap from this little cheeky island at C, it's like the perfect spot. Whereas all they have is where the Sinop was.
Look at that.
And he's dead. He doesn't have good angles.
Mutsu,
This is BSSE all the way.
I love Rhino's positioning with that Mutsu. He had a great clear shot downtown, and that's what the Mutsu excels at. Not pushing in the front line, sitting in the back and sniping away. And I'd like to point out,
look at TSIOF's crossfire ability. There's 3 ships literally firing in tandem. If this Lenin pushes up, I'm going to take this ship away from him.
And what I want to point out is, once again, the beef stalled. They put they went all into C except for the Nelson, and I guess you could argue the Sinop smartly went B. Okay, fair. So your push side is your 3, and then they just kind of sat there. I was doing this yesterday on brawls, okay? And brawls, by the way, it's a great way to practice different things in the game. And I think the most important skill, as Ripro is going to go down here, the most important skill with brawls is understanding how to push together with another battleship so that the enemy can't just pick one and focus it down. Ripro, being the front, the closest enemy, is the focused target. You can see all the shells coming in. I'm zoomed out. Doggo needed to push with Ripro.
In tandem with him.
In tandem. And
not next to, in tandem with, at a separate angle.
Correct. And I mentioned this on my stream because it happened with somebody that was on my division. Instinctively, he ducked behind an island with a battleship, and he ended up following the other battleship on my division. So what happened? Well, the battleship in the front got focused and died. The battleship in the back wasn't able to do anything, and then the battleship in the back got focused and died.
Now, if Count Fraggington had stayed at the nip, look at the shot he would have on the Julio.
Yeah,
if the Nelson was paying any attention whatsoever, that's a dead Lenin.
Yep. The worst.
All he had to do was stay at the nip.
The worst thing you can do in a Lenin is think, okay, I've got this position. I will now move forward and secure the next position. You don't need to.
Unless that's the play. Like, you've won A, you've won B, you don't need to win C. Now he gets torped by the Tirpitz or crushed by the Nelson.
By the way,
the Nelson
we got 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, which means time to throw.
Bop, bop, bop.
I like the cross shot on the Nelson.
Nelson gets crushed here. He gets crushed.
Oh!
Yep.
And there's the counter throw.
Way, though.
That's the counter throw. And the Tirpitz fired his torpedoes way too early. If he had fired them now, that would have been a dead Nelson. Instead, he's forced to use his guns. and turn his entire ship to try to get this kill. 39 seconds to go, guys.
I think this is the first map where the
Oh!
team that picked the
J-Rock
map-
goes down. Hold on. J-Rock goes down. It's
Not
still
enough
not
time.
enough. It's still not enough. Nope. And
This is the
Fraggington
first
lives.
time, though. Yeah, despite over pushing.
I mean,
But this is the first time where the team that picked the map won the map.
you hate to see it, guys. You hate to see it.
I talk at depth about the amount of advantage you can get before the game begins. The map, the thing I love about this tournament is every single map there's no mirror maps like you see in COTS, where there's really no strong advantage, and most maps have more than one very different place. Whereas like even in like Tears of the Desert, it's just, do you get the triangular island or not in B? And
Right.
everything else is basically mirror. So, but in terms of watching tournament play, I would say I've watched as many games as anyone. Maybe you and Raptor being the exception. So like knowing where to go and knowing what to do versus executing it is definitely my weakness. All right, let's see here. You got the alphabet team.
I'll take Alphabet. Yep. So we've got Julio on the corner, Lennon in the middle with Massachusetts next to him. Repulse and Turpit. So they did switch their lineup up a bit. What do we have for BSSE?
This is the first time. Okay, well, we have a Massachusetts B, a Julio, a Turpitz, a Lennon, and a Mutsu. But now, Zeph, look at this. The Massa they're not all together. On this map, they normally spawned like Alpha does, all in the center. Oh no, even they didn't do it. The Repulse is in there.
Yeah, it's kind of a breath of fresh air here, isn't it? Not seeing all the eights on one side.
It is. I wish the Julio for BSSE would go to this little nip at Bravo, the free,
Yeah.
if they don't contest it cap.
Yep.
And I wish the Turpits would go where the Julio's going. It's stronger there. Alpha wins through C. And the only thing that BSSE is putting there is a terrifying Lennon. They ram this dude. You ram him for the win. Massachusetts is going to murder this Julio at A.
Well,
This is going to be great to watch.
plane going up. Lord Admirals is detected. So, Rebrand Steve instinctively turning away. Smart. And let's see how the teams utilize this island at CCAP. Doggo and the Turpits going on the south side. Ripro going on the north side. That's okay, assuming they can find a way to push together through C.
The Alpha Lennon is going for... Ooh. He actually is pushed forward enough to get this cross shot. If the Massachusetts stops, he's not stopping. You don't stop. Just kill the Julio and then murder the Lennon.
Nice hit there on Taffy. Taffy's like, oh, that hurt. I'm going to start healing. And meanwhile, let's take a look at Lord of Admirals coming off the loser so far in this engagement with Rebrand Steve.
This is the ideal circumstance for TSIOF. The Turpitz is proximity spotting the Lennon on the corner.
Uh-oh.
The Turpitz actually has to stop further back to gain momentum, or just keep going and accept one really big hit from the Lennon to then put 4 torpedoes on him. If you slow down here, you take 2 shots. Lennon's waiting for it. They're coming around. This is how you win this.
Yep, but you
12K salvo.
But you need the Massachusetts to push with you, and Ripro is just sitting there saying, do you want me? Do you want me? Do you want me?
Be patient with these torpedoes. Be patient
right.
with these torpedoes.
That's right. And Fraggington has literally painted himself into a corner. He can't back up that much farther. But look at
to torp the Lenin.
There's the
There it is.
torps.
There's all 4. It's not enough.
But
There
the guns
is.
finish it.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
And there's the Lenin.
But once again, look at Massachusetts Repulse, north of C. Neither of them are helping with this push. They should all be going together.
Why is the Massachusetts not killing the Julio?
Because he
at
sees the
Alpha?
Tirpitz. Oh, you're talking about the other one down there. So Rebrand Steve hit the border, came off the border fully broadside, and Lord Admirals completely whiffed the broadside. That's how he's not dying to the Massachusetts.
Tirpitz is in a 3.5v1. He's dead.
And he also fired his torps way too early. Frank's going to take one on the bow. And overturns. J-Rock can actually kill him here.
But the Massachusetts should be over here already for BSSE. Like, if the Julio rams this Massachusetts, this is the hero play of the game.
Nice shot there from J-Rock.
Tirpitz is beached and dead.
Both are beached. Are pretty, yeah, there goes the Tirpitz.
Oh my god, how do you lose from Bravo?
Lenin gets the heel off. How do you lose from Bravo? Well, you've got Repro that didn't follow and backed up, and you had the Repulse that also didn't follow and was able then to come back and counter.
Look how much damage the Massachusetts does on the Julio when he just...
Oh, ultimate disrespect. Tirpitz torps the Mutsu. And are we going to see the ram? Are we going to witness this ram?
We're going to game 5, kids. Oh, for sure. Boop.
There it is.
Huge value. Tier 5 for Tier 8 in a 1v1. It's 3-1. Game over, man.
GG's.
Oh.
I mean, I love a game 5. I love me a game 5.
I do love me a game. And you know what? The momentum now is 100% in TSIOF's favor because BSSE got to pick the best spawn on the most lopsided map in the game, and they did. That Lenin where he was at, super powerful, but not by himself.
Nope. But he did very much like what the Two Brothers play is, right? Oh, nice ram. He did like the Two Brothers play. You go in there, you get yourself detected, you get everybody to think, hey, you're the guy, right? You're the guy to focus on, and you back up. And when you do that, it's like you're fishing, and you hook them, and you just pull. And that's exactly what he pulled the Tirpitz, dude. He pulled the Tirpitz. Okay, so before we get to lineups, that trap is the channel leading into A in Foxtrot 4. I've seen so many times ships pile in there and sit. That's if TSIOF if they go there, they're gonna lose, in my opinion.
There better not be lemming, period. I mean, Bravo Spawn's got this beautiful island behind B. They have every advantage imaginable. If you lose this from Bravo Spawn, you're not going to win this tournament, period.
All right, challenge accepted.
I've had the pleasure of casting both these teams in past tournaments and knowing both of these clans. I would be very shocked to see either of these clans get stuck into that channel with a ship, because that just does not match the teams I've come to know play and how they play. Now, I do think we're going to see that Lenin of TSIOF stuck on the bottom side of that F4, that Foxtrot 4 island, quite possibly, unless they want to shove him into B. But it'll be interesting because you got the tanking ability there.
So
the Lenin play has, well, their Lenin has been all right.
Who, TSIOF's?
Yeah, he's been all right. Hasn't been like a high impact player, but he's not giving away half his HP per salvo.
I mean, I'd say both Lenins.
Who's gonna overpush C is the question.
Yeah, I think both of them have been fine. But in any case, do you want to walk us through the BSSE lineup?
Sure, on BSSE, you've got Turpitz B, Lenin, Matsu, Massachusetts. They're finally going in separate directions. Amen to that.
Hey,
And
hey.
the Julio going wide west.
All right. Meanwhile, to the south, we've got TSIOF, Massachusetts, and Tirpitz working together along with the Julio behind him. And then we've got Repulse and Lenin. Lenin is heading towards that channel. Repulse is just going for it right now, at least. Just going,
I mean, they've got to be splitting that island, but do you like Lenin? I want there. No, they're not. They're gonna sacrifice this Lenin to try and win C cap. Take every imaginable advantage that Bravo has and ignore it, and then go to C.
I mean, I can understand putting the repulse in because you're making the argument. Okay, with the repulse,
He's not.
you can
No,
always...
he's not going. He's not going in. Oh no,
he's canceling now. I was gonna say if he decides to go in, if he decides to go in, the repulse does have the advantage of having the speed boost for his ability to get himself back out quicker. But yeah, this positioning from TSIOF. I'm questioning a little bit right now.
Lenin spotted from TSIOF. See, he can even go in and potentially cap.
Yep.
Unspotted.
Yep.
That's a better play for the repulse, to be honest with you.
Well, all right. Now he's spotted. We're gonna see probably the Tirpitz and Lenin from BSSE open up.
Why is no one shooting? There we go. Repulse shoots.
Good question.
This is weird.
I mean,
Broadside repulse to Matsu, Massachusetts doesn't have a shot. Whiffs. Matsu.
I mean, if I'm Gary,
It's the island.
If I'm Gary, I'm using my engine boost, and they let Frank Fletcher cap B.
Spotted the entire time.
What is
the entire time?
J-Rock?
I'm trying to figure out. Is there something? No, that island doesn't block the repulse with the Lenin. That's just. Ugh.
I mean, they were like looking at him, and then they're like, nah, you know, we're gonna look to the south.
Look at the Lenin is he's over pushing this island now though. Do not go any further than that. You can stay there.
Now they shoot at him at least.
Yeah, when it's too late. I mean, they're already letting.
6 minutes left.
They're already giving away point gain. Oh, big hit on Gary's repulse.
Got crushed. Yeah. You could have been perfectly safe behind this, either of the islands at A. And if you know 3 are coming down the A cap, you're in trouble if 4 of your ships can't fire there.
Do you know that they were though?
They've got it. They know 2.
They know the Massachusetts and the Mutso, and they've got to assume at this point.
Turpitz got nuked.
So
they've got to assume at this point, with the Giulio Cesare not having been spotted yet, that he has to be on the A flank, because if he was on the C flank, they would have spotted him at some point with this push. So TSIOF has to know where all of BSSE's ships are, and now it just comes down to shots.
So it could have been.
Needs to go to that island at H3.
It could have been that BSSE didn't shoot the Lenin because they didn't want to give away their position, but again, with you can't afford to allow a simple cap like that because it immediately puts you in the losing position. Speaking of losing position, look at J-Rock.
Ooh.
He was so afraid of beaching that he turned broadside and beached anyways.
And he's gone.
Duck.
So, GG's. This is already looking like a TSIOF win.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
They're at least pushing through their advantage, but the repulse has gone dark.
Smart.
And the Turpitz dies.
Here comes Lenin shells. Doink.
Your only hope at this point, if you're BSSE, is you got to get a miracle, like 30k smack on ships a couple of times, not even just once.
Massachusetts has to come around B, and the Julio needs to turn back left, but he can't because of this repulse. And the Massachusetts has to. They have to angle to the Julio and Matsu, and Massachusetts has to clap broadside.
If you ask me,
Julio is in a bit of a problem spot, though.
He is, but if you ask me, Gary, the repulse should be kiting away the other direction. He should be going towards I-1.
To the left.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not, though. He would have a brilliant shot on Taffy's Julio. And right now, at least, he's got a nice shot on Lord of Admirals in the Massachusetts.
We've got an open water Lennon again on BSSE. He at least
Yeah,
doesn't
but
have.
Frank-
He's got a good angle here.
Frank Fletcher is completely broadside and stopped.
Yeah, do you see the other Lennon?
Yeah.
Here it
There's a
comes.
shot. Come on, baby.
The other problem is Rebrand Steve. Rebrand Steve is just getting strewn alive by Lord of Admirals, and soon as Count Fraggington wants to,
Well-
he can pop shots onto that Julio, and then Steve is just gone.
So you missed the last game. The last game, Rebrand Steve actually rammed Lord of Admirals' Massachusetts with his
1v1
Julio.
The Massachusetts
The whole
and
game.
won.
The whole game.
That's impressive.
So this is
dies.
Lord of Admirals wanting that payback. And he's going to get it.
Well, and where the Lennon's at now is huge for BSSE. But the Repulse also has the Massachusetts and doesn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if the Julio lives with 20. Okay, all right, okay. Now it's all about the Lennons. It's all
Though,
about the Lennons.
I don't like TSIOF pushing their ships through, because you just gave Count Fraggington time to 1, heal, 2, push up,
Yep.
and 3, now
Yep.
he's going to lock that Massachusetts interprets into a spot, because if they come out, hello, Lennon says, yum, 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 broadside for dinner.
Well,
And Lennon
but-
needs to be turning right.
But if you
now.
look at it, Lord Admirals is doing what he's done all day in the Massachusetts. Get in front of the enemy, stop, and then just die. So, I mean, they're losing a little bit of that opportunity there.
Left. Repulse kills Massachusetts with these shots because
Nope.
they've got both. Nope, doesn't even take that.
Nope.
And now that Lennon there is nowhere near as valuable. He does have Turpitz broadside. If you're going to give broadside, that's the way. Matsu's got the Lennon of Frank Fletcher, who's just waltzing into A.
I like
uncontested.
that though, because that ensures that's their insurance policy essentially. They're going to be ticking up 2 caps now.
I mean, let's be honest though, at this point, you have double the
Julio's
health, you have 2
screwed.
of the 3 caps ticking.
Bye, Taffy.
And you're a ship up. It's
Nope.
really hard.
Count Fraggington moved forward into the broad of the other Lennon.
Makes sense. Why not?
Ooh,
He
that
loves
was
this
painful.
move. 1 minute
Mutsu
37.
shells on Ripro. They do
Ripro
connect.
might go down to the Shazari. Depends on how quick he gets the shots off.
Catastrophic.
Can he get the butt turret on Taffy?
Dead Massachusetts. Dead Massachusetts.
Dead
There
Massachusetts.
we go.
Dead Julio. He
But
got the
Julio-
butt turret.
Julio, doesn't matter. 1 minute left. Look at the points.
Oh! And that's what happens when you show
Lennon.
broadside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Open water Lennon.
So let's take a moment and take stock of the situation.
Well,
I mean, the 2 minute that we're at the 1 minute. It's time for the counter throw, but I just don't see it. I don't think there's a way for TSIOF to counter throw enough. Mutsu needs to come out and just whack the Lennon. He's trying.
1 turret on each ship, and none of them are wearing debt flags.
Of
That's
course.
the only way. But no, I mean, not to go into post-battle analysis early, but realistically,
Oh!
I'm still looking at that. I'm looking at that not taking a shot on the Lennon at all while he was capping A and saying that, oh, yeah, we're not going to take a shot on you at all. You're going to cap Bravo, and yeah.
That was
TSIOF bringing it back 2 in games 4 and 5 to take the W.
and I would like to add winning on the south side of the map.